Today on Public Eye News, Marquette has a citywide Easter egg hunt and later reactions to the Mueller report.
Caleb Riddell has our weather forecast and Jillian will be back with sports. Hi, I'm Mason Wallace.
Jillian Wormlinger, and this is Public Eye News. NMU students got a chance to learn how they can get active in the battle against climate change. The Marquette chapter of Citizens Climate Lobby spoke to students about what they can do locally to fight climate change. They specifically spoke on promoting the Energy Innovation and Carbon Dividend Act, a bill that they say would be a major step forward. The presentation was part of NMU's Anderton's Earth Week, named for John Anderton, a former geography professor and department head who passed away unexpectedly in March of 2014. The goal is to feel inspired and know there is an option to help. And the citywide Marquette Easter egg hunt was such a hit, they're adding bonus eggs. The hunt began during Holy Week with a dozen eggs being hidden around the city. Families used clues posted on the Superior Land Kiwanis Facebook page. 2 additional eggs are being hidden today. Organizers say it's been a fun event each year. There's another egg hunt being held at Presque Isle on Saturday. That event begins at 11 a.m. and there are more than 1,000 toy-filled eggs for kids to find.
Hundreds of volunteers gathered at Northern Michigan University Thursday night to be honored for their work at the DJ Jacobetti Home for Veterans. It was the 37th annual banquet with more than 200 volunteers serving more than 11,000 hours in 2018. Officials say they are the backbone of the home and they are the reason they are able to give such high-quality care to their residents. Lois Westman has been volunteering at the home for 15 years and has accumulated more than 3,000 volunteer hours. If anyone is interested in volunteering at the DJ Jacobetti Home for Veterans, please contact the center and ask for Sarah Johnson. And with ice thawing around the Great Lakes, technicians are prepping to redeploy buoys that gather information for use in research in water safety and recreation efforts. A dozen institutions operate the buoys and many of them provide the data to the nonprofit Great Lakes Observing System. The information is put online and gives real-time data from the buoys which can help boaters and anglers avoid dangerous conditions. The information also allows scientists to collect data to form computer models that can predict weather and lake characteristics. It's important for anyone going onto the water to know that spring can be a very hazardous season because conditions are often rough and change quickly.
An animal rarely seen in Michigan has been released in the wild in the Upper Peninsula. A Canada lynx was captured weeks ago in Sanilac County in the Lower Peninsula. After spending time at the Howell Nature Center and the Detroit Zoo, the female was released last week in a wooded area in Schoolcraft County. The cat is believed to be less than a year old and was 18 pounds when found, but added a pound while eating rabbits and quail at the zoo. The Department of Natural Resources says the last verified sighting of a lynx was in 2010 on Sugar Island near Sault Ste. Marie. And Michigan is launching a pilot program to aid farmers and processors interested in growing industrial hemp during the 2019 planting season. In 2020, the U.S. government is implementing a national program to start. However, the state already has the authority to grow industrial hemp for research purposes. Participating farmers and processors will have to obtain a license and enter into a research agreement with the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. Governor Gretchen Whitmer says Michigan is a natural fit to grow, process, and manufacture industrial hemp. She states that the emerging crop not only is a new opportunity for farmers, but also is an opportunity for new businesses to form. And stay tuned. After this break, we'll be back with your national and international news.
Take a look at the work of Garry Winogrand.
One of the principal American photographers of his generation. He was a true poet of photography.
He took this genre, street photography, turned it on its head and made it something new.
In his lifetime, he shot over 1 million pictures.
What you ended up with is a portrait of America.
Join us for Garry Winogrand, All Things Are Photographable, only on American Masters.
Tonight at 9 on Public TV 13.
Welcome back. Overcoming logistical challenges and ensuring people living in rural communities play a key role in vetting candidates. Kimmy Cole of Minden, Nevada is setting up a series of virtual visits with presidential campaigns. Cole, along with other Nevada citizens, hope to launch their first series of online video conferences next month with the 2020 contenders. Cyber campaigning could give presidential candidates the opportunity to reach thousands of scattered citizens who hold key votes in crowded elections. 6 candidates have already expressed interest in participating in the conference. And one day after the release of the Mueller report, one thing is clear: the investigation into the president will continue. Natalie Brand has more details from Capitol Hill.
House Democrats today issued a subpoena to see special counsel Robert Mueller's full report.
We need the whole report, including the underlying documents, unredacted, as has been the case in every previous situation similar to this, where Congress got it all.
Mueller found no evidence of conspiracy or coordination with Russians interfering with the 2016 election, but he did not decide the question of obstruction of justice. In his report, he writes, the conclusion that Congress may apply the obstruction laws to the president's corrupt exercise of the powers of office accords with our constitutional system of checks and balances and the principle that no person is above the law.
We believe that the first Article 1, the legislative branch, has a responsibility of oversight of our democracy, and we will exercise that.
While Democrats say they will continue to investigate the president, most have stopped short of calling for impeachment, and Republicans say it's time to move on.
I think the Democrats are kind of like a dog with a bone on this. They're just going to keep chewing on it. But I think from the standpoint of most people, these issues are sort of settled and I think kind of in the rearview mirror, and they're ready to move on.
President Trump moved on to his Florida golf course this morning, but only after tweeting about the, quote, crazy Mueller report. And he called the sworn testimony of some in the report, quote, total BS.
The poor American people were lied to for 2+ years by the mainstream media, and someone's got to answer for that.
Okay. House Democrats have planned a conference call for Monday to discuss next steps. And Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Hurricane Michael, which devastated a huge portion of the Florida Panhandle last fall, was actually stronger than initially measured. This prompted forecasters to upgrade it from a Category 4 storm to a Category 5 storm, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration today. The upgraded status means Michael was the first hurricane to make landfall in the United States as a Category 5 since Hurricane Andrew in 1992, and only the 4th on record. National Hurricane Center scientists determined that its estimated intensity at landfall was 160 miles per hour, a 5-mile-per-hour increase over the operational estimate used last fall. And it's not hard to find a prairie dog perched on its burrow, scoping on the surroundings in Boulder. Most people don't mind the hundreds that roam in places like Valmont City Park, but on nearby farmland, the critters are creating a crisis.
That's a prairie dog hole that's going right into my house.
Robert O'Donnell has had enough of his unwanted guests.
You're going to see all the prairie dog holes in my yard now.
Dozens of prairie dog mounds popping up all over his 3-acre property and neighboring land.
It's a constant battle.
Destroying vegetation livestock in the area depend on.
There's nothing left. So if you were a cow, what would you eat?
Boulder Open Space trustees say prairie dogs are taking over more than half of the irrigated grasslands on the city's north end. It is a crisis, and why they're recommending the city take lethal action to control the population on ag properties.
I see it as a glimmer of hope.
Paula Schuler has long battled Boulder to do something about the prairie dogs.
The city of Boulder has irrigated agricultural properties that, for their own land objectives, should not have prairie dogs on them.
It's now her hope city officials will see non-lethal methods are no longer an option.
The city of Boulder has only been able to relocate 700 prairie dogs in the last 3 years. There are tens of thousands of prairie dogs.
Robert understands why some may be opposed to lethal force, but says this isn't simply about killing animals.
I'm not an animal hater.
It's about finding balance and protecting their homes just like anybody else.
If you were to go home, Kelly, and you find a rat or a mouse or something like that, you're going to do the same thing, and that's what's happening here.
After this break, we'll be back with your weather and sports. Stay with us.
Welcome back. I'm Caleb Rideout. I'm going to be taking you through your weather for today. As you can see behind me on the NMU campus, we have sun out there and it is melting off all those snowbanks. We got that green out there on the ground. That grass is finally growing, and hopefully that's going to be the last we see of a big old snowstorm, but you never know. This is the UP. Looking at our current conditions out there, sunny with a temperature of 48 degrees, winds out of the north-northeast at 9 miles per hour, and a barometric pressure of 30.01 inches and falling. Taking a look tonight, we're going to see clear skies out there with the moon shining out, and low of 32 with winds out of the southwest at 4 miles per hour. Taking a look tomorrow, we're going to see that sun sticking around, and we're going to get some high temperatures of 62 degrees, so make sure you get outside tomorrow, especially if you want to catch some rays finally, and the wind's going to be out of the south at 9 miles per hour. Take a look across the UP. We're going to see sun everywhere. So if you're traveling across the UP, enjoy the sun and roll down those windows, get a little bit of that fresh air. Starting up in Sault Ste. Marie with 46 degrees, 52 in Manistee, 53 in Escanaba, and down in Menominee at 48 degrees. Taking a look at the western half of the UP, Iron Mountain with 55 in Ironwood, and up in the Keweenaw also with a 55 in Houghton. Back here in Marquette, 48 degrees and sunshine. Let's take a look at your week ahead. On Sunday, we're looking at a high of 50 degrees with a low of 37, and we are going to see some AM showers going on with Monday at a high of 41, a low of 34. It's going to be raining all day potentially, but then Tuesday we're going to get clouds, but no rain looking like it right now, with a high of 45 and a low of 35. Well, we're looking at some really good weather, especially tomorrow, Jillian, but I hear you have a story for us that's going to be inside, unfortunately.
That's right, Caleb. This season was a big one for NMU men's basketball. Northern Michigan University men's basketball returned to the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Tournament and reached the GLIAC semifinals in a season for GLIAC championships. The season started with their best start since the 1984-85 season as they began the year 5-0 following an 80-68 victory over Hillsdale College. They also swept Michigan Technological University for the first time since 2008-2009. NMU also defeated the defending league and NCAA champions Ferris State University 89-73 to reach their first GLIAC semifinals since 2006-2007. The Wildcats now turn their attention to the 2019-20 season, and the core group of returners will look to finish the trek the talented senior class started. And moving over to women's lacrosse, sadly Northern Michigan University lacrosse fell to number 12 University of Indianapolis 23-0 in a Great Lakes Intercollegiate Conference competition, leading with shots on goal with 2 shots each for freshman Alia Spies and sophomore Ellie Barr. The Wildcats were able to pick up 10 ground balls with junior Grayson Ringlever and freshman Cam Stilson, leading the team both with 2. Ringlever grabbed 2 draw controls for NMU. In goal, Stilson made 6 saves. The Wildcats will return to the Superior Dome tomorrow to take on Ashland University in their last home game of the season. The team will honor their 4 seniors prior to the 11 a.m. game. And Steve Yzerman is returning to the Detroit Red Wings, confirming that Yzerman will be named the team's general manager. Yzerman spent his entire 22-season NHL playing career from 1983 to 2006 with the Red Wings. He won 3 Stanley Cups while serving as team captain from 1986 until his retirement. He had been general manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning since 2010 before stepping down from the role in September and moving to a senior advisory position. Before joining the Lightning, Yzerman spent 4 seasons as vice president with the Red Wings. And for that, that's all the time we have for you today on Public Eye News, and we'll see you back here on Monday.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.